We've been waiting for a long time to do a follow-up episode on you, and that time has definitely come.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the best reportedly improvised moments by Robert Downey Jr. that made the final cut.
That's life, no biggie? I mean, what kind of talk is that?
Number 20, The Surgical Mask, Iron Man 2. Tony Stark can't afford to get sick.
Do you have the sniffles? I don't want to get sick.
Did you just donate?
He's got too much on his plate. So when he notices Pepper Potts sniffling, he points it out. This medical suggestion was reportedly all Robert Downey Jr.'s doing. On the day this scene was shot, co-star Gwyneth Paltrow was sick. On the spot, RDJ effectively blended the actress's real-life state with the character she was portraying.
The expo is a gigantic waste of time.
I need you to wear a surgical mask until you're feeling better. Is that okay?
That's rude.
That's what we call expert improvisation. Because the ad-lib was so on schedule and on point within the context of the scene, it made sense to keep it in the movie. Number 19, Passing Wind, Doolittle. RDJ joined the animal party as Dr. Doolittle in the 2020 film adaptation. During one scene in particular, Downey Jr.'s Doolittle tries to help a dragon as various other animals watch.
Tell you what, give us 5 minutes. If you don't feel better, you can fry us all.
Stop talking. Just get on with it.
Co-star Harry Collette hinted that one moment during the scene was not scripted. It came after the dragon passed gas. Collette's comments in the interview lead us to believe that not only did he improvise here, but RDJ did as well. Doolittle's reaction to the stench is quite humorous.
Oh, nothing to be ashamed of. We all do it. We're all animals.
Spending all that time with so many animals around, one would think that from time to time he would experience what he does in this scene. Number 18, Australian accent, Natural-Born Killers. Journalist Wayne Gale wasn't originally scripted to have an Australian accent in the film Natural-Born Killers.
I'm standing on Highway 666, running through towns like Cortez, Shiprock, Sheep Springs, and ending in Gallup, New Mexico. To some, a beautiful stretch of the American landscape.
But Robert Downey Jr. had other ideas. In this role, RDJ portrays a self-centered reporter and television show host. His character embodies the darker aspects of the media in this dark crime film. So why did RDJ decide to go with an Australian accent in this movie? Well, after spending time with a controversial Australian TV personality, RDJ was convinced it would be a good idea to use an Australian accent for the role.
What they get you for?
Murder.
Yeah, that's a rough one, man. I'm with you.
He then convinced director Oliver Stone. Number 17, Stark and Stane Conversation, Iron Man. Obadiah Stane, aka Ironmonger, is the antagonist and business partner turned enemy of Tony Stark in the first Iron Man movie. The role was performed by Jeff Bridges.
What's the world coming to when a guy's got to crash his own party?
Look at you. Hey, what a surprise.
According to Bridges himself in an interview with Vanity Fair, filming the movie involved devising a fair share of unscripted lines alongside Robert Downey Jr. The two were clearly up for the challenge. Just check out this scene of Stane confessing his betrayal of Stark.
Tony, you can't afford to be this naive.
You know when I was naive before, when they said, here's the line, we don't cross it, this is how we do business. If we're double dealing under the table, are we?
While their characters became divided, there's no denying that Bridges and RDJ proved their impressive chemistry with a lack of script material. Number 16, Liar, Avengers Endgame. One word can be powerful if you use it right. Robert Downey Jr. can certainly make that evident. Not only that, but it doesn't even have to be a part of the script.
Where is he now?
Where?
We don't know. He just opened a portal and walked through.
According to Avengers Endgame co-director Anthony Russo, RDJ sprinkled in a word on his own during an intense interaction with Captain America. That word was liar. This is an instance where it's not simply the word used in the ad-lib that made it absolutely worth keeping in the movie.
I got nothing for you, Cap. I got no coordinates, no clues, no strategies, no options, zero, zip, nada. No trust. Liar.
The tone of Downey Jr.'s voice and even the hand movements were expertly executed, capturing the optimal amount of emotion given the scene's context. Number 15, Harry Lockhart, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Co-stars can attest to Robert Downey Jr.'s improvisational brilliance. Michelle Monaghan, who worked with him on Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, was asked about improvising with him.
Are you gonna help me?
I gotta check my schedule. But
Okay, because if you're not going to help me, Harry, then I need to get out of here and I need to find somebody that's going to help me.
Her answer included a great story of an on-set experience. It's awesome that RDJ just felt like winging it. It's even more awesome that Monahan agreed to do so. It was very early on in the actress's career when she played the role of Harmony alongside Downey Jr.'s Harry Lockhart. We think she did the right thing soaking up RDJ's advice like a sponge and following his lead.
What the hell are you doing?
Honey, I didn't do anything.
Harry, you're grabbing my tit.
No, there was a spider. There was a big spider.
Oh, please.
I swear.
Based on her interview comments, it seems like part of the co-star's improvisation during this bedroom spider scene made the final cut. Number 14, Shakespeare in the Park, The Avengers. How dost thou so brilliantly execute these lines, Master Robert? Iron Man added a comical, unique flavor of Shakespeare during a fight scene with Thor in The Avengers.
Do not touch me again.
Then don't take my stuff.
You have no idea what you're dealing with.
Shakespeare in the Park?
He really got him with that one. In director Joss Whedon's Avengers DVD commentary, Whedon discussed the Shakespeare in the Park bit. It was something he brought up to RDJ earlier in the day before the scene was shot.
Doth mother know you weareth her drapes?
This is beyond you, Metal Man.
RDJ took the suggestion and ran with it, going a step further than what Whedon had in mind. Give RDJ a good idea and he can make it most excellent. Number 13, letting Peter Parker know who's boss. Avengers Infinity War. They call him Spider-Man, but RDJ views Tom Holland's character more like a Spider-Boy. That's evident on multiple occasions throughout Avengers Infinity War.
Long way down, and I just thought about shooting.
And now I gotta hear
kind
it.
of stuck to the side of the ship, and this suit is ridiculously intuitive, by the way. So if anything, it's kind of your fault that I'm here.
What did you just say?
In one particularly notable instance, Iron Man puts his young superhero companion in his place during a conversation with Doctor Strange. Apparently, this witty "the adults are talking" line was not a part of the script.
Due to that fact, we're now in a flying donut, billions of miles from Earth with no backup.
I'm back up.
No, you're a stowaway. The adults are talking.
Holland discussed the scene during a fan Q&A. RDJ was able to integrate this ad-lib to perfection, encapsulating the unfavorable circumstances in which the characters find themselves, as well as the relationship dynamics between Tony Stark and Peter Parker. Number 12, Secret Handshake, Weird Science. Playing a high school tormentor alongside his namesake Robert Russler, Robert Downey Jr. was involved in one of the most memorable scenes in the movie Weird Science.
Check it out. Check it out.
What?
The two are at the mall when Russler's character Max pours his red slushie over the railing. As planned, it spills all over the movie's protagonists, Gary and Wyatt. Right before this, the tormentors do some kind of a handshake.
$5. Binsky.
First of all, this just makes us realize there are countless possible iterations of handshakes. This one, however, was not in the script. The Roberts decided to do it on the spot. Number 11, Drunk Tony, Iron Man 2. Perhaps Tony Stark had one too many at his birthday party in Iron Man 2. But what the heck, he's Tony Stark, and it is his birthday after all. Things really go off the rails when Rhodey arrives with bad intentions. After party guests evacuate the room, Stark cracks up while saying something to the DJ. This hilarious line was improvised.
Goldstein.
Yes, Mr. Stark.
Give me a fat beat to beat my buddy's chest.
Who knows whether Downey Jr. meant to laugh as well, but if he did, hats off to him. The ad-lib along with the laughter aligned exceptionally well with Stark's drunk state during the scene.
Number 10, Just Getting the Door, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Don't do anything I would do, and definitely don't do anything I wouldn't do. There's a little gray area in there, and that's where you operate.
When the trailer for the first Marvel Studios produced Spider-Man solo outing dropped, aptly named Homecoming, in addition to the promise of more web-slinging antics, we were treated to a laugh or two via Stark and Parker's banter. In particular, there's the moment where Peter reciprocates a hug, only to find Tony is getting the car door for him.
That's not a hug, I'm just grabbing the door for you. We're not there yet.
It's a micro scene that defines the relationship between the characters extremely succinctly, and left viewers wanting more. Yet, according to Spider-Man himself, Tom Holland, it was completely off script, as was much of the scene between the two.
Well, that was actually an improvised moment, you know. A lot of that scene was really entirely improvised. We kind of really riffed off each other.
Their riffing off each other is a running dynamic between the two actors, and a lesson to many up-and-comers.
I think I just tried to hug him. I just thought it would be funny if I hugged him, and Robert's instincts are so good that he was like, oh, I'm not trying to hug you, I'm just gonna get the door.
Number 9, Improvisation, my dear Watson, the Sherlock Holmes franchise.
I forgot the rest.
It's coming back now.
According to Arthur Conan Doyle, if you eliminate the script, all that remains, however improvised, must be the movie. Okay, so we actually RDJ'd that particular quote. We're not pinpointing an exact moment here, since ad-libbing was such a big part of the production.
Have you actually read the book?
I found it compelling.
Meanwhile, the witty repartee and naturalistic comedy between Holmes and Watson in the Guy Ritchie-directed franchise is a testament to two main factors: the real-life friendship between Downey Jr. and co-star Jude Law, as well as the spontaneity of the leading man on set.
I agree, it's not my best disguise, but let's make do.
According to Downey Jr., improvisation on set is, quote, a democracy in the truest and most frustrating and most rewarding sense of the word. Moriarty actor Jared Harris reportedly had to adjust to the loose use of the script as, quote, an exercise in trial by fire. But it paid off. The scenes between the two nemeses are electric. Number 8, calling an audible. Captain America: Civil War.
Oh, Mr. Parker.
What are you doing? Hey, I'm Peter.
Tony.
When Tom Holland was announced as the new Spider-Man, replacing Andrew Garfield after less than 2 years off-screen, fans were eager to see how the young actor would fit, especially with a cast that was already brimming with established stars. Holland, at the time gaining a rather firm step into Hollywood, but still relatively unknown, was paired with the veteran RDJ. During the initial encounter between Tony Stark and Peter Parker, the former tells the young superhero to move the leg so he can sit down.
I'm gonna sit here so you move the leg.
Typical. Though we love him, Stark can be arrogant, and this is just another indication of that, right? Except it was more that Holland forgot his blocking, so RDJ corrected him both in character and as an actor, then continued the scene.
I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that.
Number 7, Blueberry, The Avengers.
His secrets have secrets.
It's bugging him too, isn't it?
Tony Stark loves his food. Whether it's cheeseburgers in Iron Man 1, donuts in Iron Man 2, or blueberries on the helicarrier in The Avengers.
Even if Barton didn't tell Loki about the tower, it was still all over the news.
The Stark Tower.
The last one, however, gains a distinction by being less of a character choice and more of an actor being mischievous. The moment where Stark offers his fellow Avenger a blueberry was not in the script, nor was the act of even eating them. Apparently, RDJ was simply hungry and managed to smuggle a packet of fruit on set and hide them in the elaborate lab design. Then, as cameras rolled, he tucked in. And since it seemed like such a Tony Stark thing to do, it remained in the film.
In a few hours, I'll know every dirty secret S.H.I.E.L.D. has ever tried to hide. Blueberry?
Number 6, I Love You 3000, Avengers Endgame. We have to address it. The moment that broke everyone's hearts. I Love You 3000.
I love you 3000.
Yes, there are rumors about much deeper meanings relating to the overall runtime of Marvel movies, but that's just a coincidence. During Avengers Endgame, while Tony puts Morgan to bed, he tells her that he loves her tons, which is how it was written in the screenplay. The same script was supposed to have Morgan say the same in return. However, to add a little naturalness into the scene, Downey Jr. suggested the new line based on how his own children reply to him in real life.
Love you tons.
I love you 3000.
The result is an amusing exchange between Pepper and Tony in the following scene, a finale line, and floods of tears. Number 5, Peekaboo, I See You. Tropic Thunder. Just like much of the rest of the movie they're filming in the action comedy, the real-life actors of Tropic Thunder took a lot of liberties with the script. So much so that to describe the screenplay as anything more than a general set of scenarios might be going somewhat overboard. Robert Downey Jr.'s Kirk Lazarus is probably a character that moviegoers will never see the likes of again.
Lazarus underwent a controversial pigmentation alteration procedure in order to play the platoon's African-American sergeant, Lincoln Osiris.
He's an American actor playing a white Australian actor who surgically alters himself to look like his on-screen black counterpart, in a parody of actors who take themselves and their method far too seriously. All directed by Ben Stiller.
You're Australian! Be Australian!
There was lots of unscripted material, but chief among them is this line from Robert Downey Jr. Beyond Beyond the improvised one-liner and diving forward role, the accent is completely hilarious.
I think I might be nobody.
Number 4. The Secret Door. Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Guys, stop. We gotta talk this through. It's good talk.
No, it wasn't.
While it's common knowledge that the Iron Man actor is encouraged to be fast and loose with the Marvel movie scripts, this entry marks an instance where a change had to be made in post-production. The bulk of the line, "Please be a secret door," was, by all accounts, purely RDJ's on-set creation of making even the mundane action of finding a hidden door look rather amusing.
Please be a secret door, please be a secret door, please be a secret door.
Meanwhile, the gleeful little "yay" that follows came at the suggestion of Age of Ultron's executive producer Jeremy Latcham, and was inserted into the film as part of the edit. That little moment has since reappeared as part of memes worldwide. Number 3. Creating a new scene. The Galaga Guy. The Avengers.
Iridium. What do they need the iridium
It's
for?
a stabilizing agent. So I'm just saying, pick a weekend. I'll fly you to Portland. She's loving life.
We've already talked about a scene that required an additional line of dialogue being added after principal photography concluded. This particular improvised bit from the Avengers, however, didn't need a new line recorded. It instead required some special effects work to allow a small unscripted moment to make it into the film. Upon entering the helicarrier bridge, Tony Stark points to a shield worker and remarks that he's playing Galaga.
Batman is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
This is an old arcade game where you must defend humanity from attacking aliens. Wait a minute. So, not only did RDJ's offhand reference reflect the film's final battle, but also director Joss Whedon thought the line worked so well that they put in visuals from the actual Galaga game in post-production. Number 2. Creating another new scene. Shawarma. The Avengers.
We're not finished yet.
And then shawarma after.
American restaurants featuring Middle Eastern cuisine have Robert Downey Jr. to thank for the rise in popularity of shawarma in the 2010s, while audiences also have him to thank for the second post-credit scene of The Avengers. This beloved sequence sees the gang silently eating the dish after the Battle of New York is over. But it wouldn't have happened without some earlier scene rewrites. According to the original script, there was just one line of dialogue written for Stark to say after the battle is over before things all quickly move on. Both RDJ and the director thought it could be improved though, so Whedon came up with a few extra ideas. RDJ ultimately went with these off-script lines. After telling the group that they should, quote, just not come in tomorrow, Stark suggests that they all go for shawarma, despite his not knowing what it is.
Let's just not come in tomorrow. Let's just take a day. You ever tried shawarma? There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. I Am Iron Man. Iron Man and Avengers Endgame.
It's been a while since I was in front of you. I figure I'll stick to the cards this time.
Those famous 4 words that started it all off. I am Iron Man. With that, the MCU was born. The line is synonymous with Tony Stark's journey, not just in one movie, but across all Marvel productions since.
I am Iron Man.
It also encouraged the other writers and directors to take liberty with the characters as they'd been previously presented in the comics. The line means many things, but it takes the number 1 spot on this list for what it wasn't: written. Much of that first Iron Man was allegedly improvised. As a result, Robert Downey Jr.'s playful remark concluding the movie was so fresh that it became Tony Stark's catchphrase. It also led to a reshoot during the editing of Avengers Endgame that saw the cast and crew film the scene so that the line would be included as the character's last live words.
And I am Iron Man.
Let us know in the comments which of Robert Downey Jr.'s ad-libs is your favorite.
Who do you think locked you out? I was the one who filed the injunction against you. It's the only way I could protect you.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.